This is what Zach and I woke up to and have been really excited for. That's why we had to be on air this afternoon, because Candace Owens is promising that today is a big day. What we will present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to change everything. That is not an exaggeration. Nothing will be the same. So, it's 2:08 p.m. Central right now. According to Candace Owens, by the time this stream is over, we're going to be living in a whole different world, an entirely different universe. So I'm super excited to find out what this is. According to Zach, she's going to go live around 2 o'clock. Or 3 o'clock p.m. our time. So that's in less than an hour from now, and we will react live to whatever this giant announcement is. But yeah, Zach, what's your prediction about this? Or do you have any thoughts or speculation on what Candace is going to drop?
Well, I have a couple of things. Yeah, I think it's good to speculate. Obviously, I think what she wants everyone to believe going in is that she's got the smoking gun. I would say she's trying to signal that she's got a smoking gun that's going to connect the assassination to some sort of outside group, Israel, most likely, but just going to try and demonstrate that Tyler Robinson was not the lone gunman, right? A lot of information has come at people since the Charlie Kirk assassination, so I do think it's important for us to take a moment and be like, okay, what is the official charge against this guy, right? It's that he was a lone gunman. It was that he acted out of, individual hatred for Charlie Kirk, stole his grandfather's untraceable World War I era gun, climbs up, takes the single shot at Charlie Kirk, hits him in the neck, and he's been arrested because his own father and the pastor or religious figure in his life, they were able to deduce that this was him. His father, being a sheriff of 20 years, felt it was his obligation to turn him into law enforcement. He has since pled guilty, and the determinations that have come from the court is that he will be tried, obviously, as an adult, and that he will face first-degree murder charges. He's allowed to wear civilian clothes. These are the things that we know. I imagine throughout the course of this episode that Candace Owens is about to drop, she's going to raise serious doubts for her audience that Tyler Robinson did act alone, as we just described.
Ooh, I certainly hope you're right about that, and it's that dramatic, because obviously that would blow the lid off the whole Kash Patel investigation or cover up, whatever you want to call it, depending on the nature of this information. If it really is that scandalous, that would be crazy. So I hope it's that intense. I'm kind of worried that it'll be something less intense than this is making it out to seem. And the only reason I say that, Zach, is because we didn't get a chance to react to this, but we can quickly watch a 2-minute clip that was posted. Candace did low-key get embarrassed the other day, in my opinion, on CNN by Ellie Reeve, or Elle Reeve. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but she's this journalist lady who sat down with Candace Owens and asked some pretty tough questions which Candace wasn't really able to answer in a very compelling way. And to me, this announcement on Twitter that we're going to react to at 3 p.m. Central is kind of a response to this, kind of a response to being backed in a corner and being told, like, well, what actual evidence do you have to support any of this? So again, I have a feeling that whatever we're going to see today is in response to this little clip that kind of went viral, kind of embarrassed Candace. So I'm interested in your opinion on this too.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's watch.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed,
sorry, it's kind of low volume.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious. And
your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
They are 100%
the indictment calls them text messages.
And can we pause
What would it be like?
So I agree that Candace Owens is not going to have like real legitimate evidence. But my only assertion was I think that that's the angle that she's going to take, is that she's going to try and convince her audience to back this up. But yeah, I think what she says right here is exactly what she's going to double down on. I think that's right on the money.
Yeah, 100%. Because after this went viral, Candace was like, well, shit, now I have to leak something new to make it seem like I really know what I'm talking about. And I'm not just, stringing my viewers along on this charade, this, conspiratorial rabbit hole that never ends, right? Also, what's it with this interviewer lady's like ASMR like voice? It doesn't sound like she's trying to like soothe you or like put you to sleep or something. I'm like, it's kind of creepy.
Whenever I see the vertical interview, like whenever I see the vertical iPhone footage for your interview, like I just tune out. I'm like, oh, I don't have to. You're far too concerned with the algorithm for me to feel like this is worth my time. And I'm a guy who I have to work for the algorithm. Game recognized game. We understand each other. But yeah, this is too Zoomer coded for me. You're like doing the ASMR in your Levi's denim jacket, and I'm with you, Gavin. This is not from me, dog. Randy Jackson style.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was trying to watch the full interview, and they fucking stuck it behind like CNN Plus or whatever the hell it's called. Like, I guess CNN Plus didn't even actually launch, but whatever they're like, exclusive members only paywalled shit is. So this is literally all we can react to. So that was kind of annoying too. But either way,
Like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and forth.
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law
I have
enforcement.
leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And
that-
Tyler Robinson
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of
Yeah,
that.
sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you
Yes,
expecting
that would
to come
be a
out?
hot story.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world, and we know how stories get shut down. And
Which is so fucking hilarious to say, as the Epstein story is rocking the fuck out of the Trump
it's
administration.
like the biggest story in the world right now.
It is leading to a fracturing that will be the undoing of the MAGA movement as we know it. So yeah, that's all cope. But one thing I hate to be catty, right? And I hate to pat ourselves on the back too much, Gavin. But the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and therefore after, we shut down all of the conspiracy fodder. A lot of people got a lot of clicks. They got a lot of views. They built the fuck out of their channel. They increased their profile exponentially. What were they doing? They were pretending that Candace Owens was in any way credible or serious. They would take her framing and respond to it as if it was gospel, as if it was a new spoken truth, as if it was something that was legitimately reported on, despite the fact she never produced one bit of evidence. I had countless people that I was arguing with who were like, I think the texts are fake, bro. And I was like, why? What evidence do you have that the texts are fake? Nobody talks like that. Who says my old man? Me on the podcast all the time, a Zoomer, young white male, the same demo as this guy? Are you crazy? I said to everyone. You cannot expect me to believe that you actually are buying Candace Owens bullshit.
Well, don't get too carried away, because at 3 p.m. Central, she might, drop something that totally exposes the official narrative to be a complete lie. So, I mean, careful.
You're right.
Careful.
Smite me down, dear Lord. If Candace Owens proves me wrong, smite me down.
I mean, apparently she's going to drop something. As it says here, I'll remind everyone, nothing will be the same. What we present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to change everything. And by the way, I do agree with you that obviously Candace Owens is essentially completely discredited herself a million times over in a variety of different ways, whether it's the Brigitte Macron stuff or the Derek Chauvin stuff or anything. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein, basically anything, right? But I do also think that Kash Patel's handling of the situation, the incredibly sus way that it was all conducted, that does, it's going to create people like Candace Owens that are going to poke holes in the narrative and spin conspiracy theories and stuff. So it's not just her doing it. I feel like the way they handled and bungled the investigation and the suspicious nature of the information drip did kind of make it inevitable that people would take this in conspiratorial directions, as they have basically every shooting, by the way. I mean, think about the Las Vegas shooting, think about Parkville. People have come up with crazy conspiracies for a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, most of what Candace Owens seems to be saying is kind of just leading people down rabbit holes, except for those messages she leaked about, you know, Charlie Kirk and his relationship with Ben Shapiro and some of that stuff. Like it was newsworthy in my opinion, even though it doesn't prove that Israel was behind Charlie Kirk's assassination or any of the more outlandish stuff that's been hinted at.
Yeah, look, I agree that because of the MAGA movement and because of how unserious our government is and how we don't live in a society that has a, you know, consistent understanding of truth, right? People call it a post-truth society because people just live whatever reality they want.
Post-Epstein society.
Yeah, post-Epstein society, as she says, right? But the thing that's crazy to me is that it's our job as people who do what me and Gavin do, we do media critique, right? To come out here and give all of that context that Gavin just gave and to say also, hey, this woman has a terrible track record. She hasn't produced the least bit of evidence, and she is a known anti-Semitic leaning person who's trying to feed red meat to her known anti-Semitic audience as she wages a war against a really, really popular conservative talking head who's known for his anti-Semitism, right? So I think all of those things were true. And while it is shady, the way that Ben Shapiro was treating Charlie Kirk, like I think that we're still so far away from having any real meat on the bones to these criticisms. The fact that she couldn't produce any compelling bit of evidence in that exchange you just showed me leads me to believe that we're going to get a lot more smoke and mirrors at 3 o'clock. But I think a lot of people might believe it. But at the end of the day, it'll be our job to like rip the fucking mask off and be like, guys, I don't know if this is really that serious.
Yeah. In my opinion, I mean, I'm glad that this discourse has gone down in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death because we have found out just so many undeniably juicy and revealing insights into the conservative media ecosystem, the sort of tension that existed between the Ben Shapiro faction, the Candace Owens faction, with people like Charlie Kirk apparently being more Team Candace at the time of that beef. And also just a lot of the weird pressure that was being exerted on Charlie Kirk by some of the Zionist donors that were also, you know, exposed in text messages by Candace Owens. So I'm really glad that she's kind of been on the warpath spilling all of this tea, even though I think she's been totally hyperbolic about a lot of it. I do think it's, you know, much like with the Marjorie thing. It's another example of MAGA turning on itself and this civil war really just reaching such a fever pitch that it's resulted in the messiest possible behavior from some of the most high profile actors in the entire space. So I mean, I'm definitely enjoying the drama.
Oh, yeah, and I think it's perfectly okay too. I didn't mean to like poo-poo any of the fun. I think we're both leaning into it a little bit. I just think that, yeah, when it comes to somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, when it comes to somebody like Candace Owens, we can recognize that when they take a wrecking ball to the Republican Party, when they take a wrecking ball to the MAGA movement, to Donald Trump's presidency, etc. Hell yeah, I want to see Candace Owens take as many wrecking balls as she can to the AIPAC lobby. I want to see her take as many wrecking balls as she can to any kind of outside Israeli influence, Zionist influence on our politics. I do want to see that happen. When Marjorie Taylor Greene went on her tear against Donald Trump, we talked about how that's actually really good because it means that Donald Trump is less likely to be the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party in 2028. And I want to live in a country where there's free and fair elections. Gavin wants to live in a country where we don't have a dictator, right? We all want these things. So I'm going to cheer for that. But I'm just out here to be like, guys, you know, Gavin's out here to be like, guys, Marjorie Taylor Greene's not an ally, right? There was some idiot on mainstream cable talking about the Democratic Party has a big enough tent for Marjorie Taylor Greene if she wants to join, but not Zohran Mamdani. That I'm not okay with.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't think anyone in our audience is of that opinion. I think most people understand, you know, the true nature of someone like Candace Owens. Again, but we've been around the block long enough to remember the fact that she released a documentary about how fucking George Floyd didn't actually get murdered and how it was a fentanyl overdose and how Derek Chauvin is innocent. He's actually the victim. You guys have it all wrong. Why weren't you rioting on behalf of Derek Chauvin? He's the one that actually got screwed. Like that was unironically her take.
That was her take.
So it's like, yeah, she's discredited herself a million times, even before you get to the Brigitte Macron stuff. But again, it is just hilarious to see her just spilling this tea wantonly without any regard for what Donald Trump thinks about it, or obviously Ben Shapiro, her former boss. It is pretty glorious to see, you know, her be part of the just total unraveling of this entire movement. But yeah, we'll get back to this in about 40 minutes or so, when the big news drops. Maybe we can watch it live on her channel.
I think we can. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, yeah, I'm super excited for that. Let's hope it's as juicy and dramatic of a revelation as she's teasing.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we wanted to discuss while we wait for the big reveal, and you know what? Maybe the Lord will smite me down and Candace Owens will prove me wrong.
Yeah, if anyone is just tuning in, we're waiting because today is the big day. What Candace Owens is about to present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to change everything. This is not an exaggeration. Nothing will be the same. So again, within a matter of minutes, hopefully not much more than an hour, we'll be living in a whole different fucking world, a whole new reality. It's going to be a total vibe shift, a totally new epoch will be born. You know, so there you go. I'm super excited for that. Do we have a scheduled show or
No,
is
she just
gonna
goes live every day on at the same time at 3:00, according to her website. According to her website, she streams, and it does look like she's pretty routine in how she streams. She takes Sunday off though, because that's the Lord's day. So she didn't stream yesterday. You know what else you can do if you want to praise the Lord? You can do what Charles Reed did. You became a YouTube member. Plainsight's been a member for 1 month. It's the most comradely way to support the show, gifting a membership to someone else. So There you go. Access our full live streams after they're done and support a DIY independent podcast.
Yup, super, super grateful for that support. Thank you, Charles. Really appreciate that. Shout out to AK. Candace schedule. Yeah, we just found that out. Really appreciate you letting us know, AK. Thank you so much for the $10, and we'll definitely catch up with you guys on whatever her bombshell news is.
Yeah. And also, this is hilarious. I didn't know about this, Kelvin. Candace tried to get Harvey Weinstein to admit it was the Jews that set him up, and it ended up falling flat on her face. What a dunce. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a great clip because she's clearly trying to get him to. She was like, "So who are you involved with? Who was like financing your films that you clearly pissed off?" And he was like, "Well, we had one company that was like a Qatari firm that was investing." And she's like, "Oh," and then moves on. Like she clearly was hoping he'd say the Jews, which is hilarious to think. Like, oh yeah, Harvey Weinstein is completely innocent. It was the Jews that made up all those women that accused him. Like the Jews did that.
Also, he is Jewish.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Harvey Weinstein.
I just double checked.
That'd be crazy if he wasn't. But either way, yeah, the Jews set up Harvey Weinstein and Michael Jackson and Kanye West.
Barack Obama. No, he was gonna bail the people out, not the banks. No.
But yeah, shout out to you, Kelvin.
Yeah. And I think it's time to shout out the patrons.
Yup.
Really appreciate everyone who supports the show on Patreon. Go ahead and move us over here like we do. And we wouldn't be able to do the show without you. We don't take any Court of Stark money. We don't take any Saudi blood money. We don't take any advertiser dollars. And we're really proud of that. We do the show just me and Gavin, from planning stages to execution, thumbnails, editing, all that jazz. It is a two-man band over here at the Vanguard. We're very proud of that. And it's all thanks to you guys.
Yep. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for chipping in. You can hit up the link in the description if you want to support the show and see your own name at the top of the shout out screen. Really appreciate all you guys for supporting the show, for making what we do possible. Had a great stream today. Really enjoyed the opportunity to catch up with you all on this crazy news. And yeah, make sure to hit that notification bell while you're at it, because you never know when we're going to go live. It'll probably be tomorrow, almost definitely, but you'll want to hit that notification bell so you get notified 30 minutes before we go live. That way you can be there when the shit hits the fan.
Absolutely.
So yeah, really appreciate it, you guys. And yeah,
getting to a long list. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to say. We used to use wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Really appreciate all the patrons, but you guys are so generous. You take such good care of us. And man, my favorite thing to brag about to people is that our very first patron ever was the GOAT herself, one of the all-time great American actresses and advocates for left-wing politics and political change in this country. An icon in every sense of the word. I believe she even has her own fucking star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Susan Sarandon, our very first ever patron. I still remember it was Veterans Day 2021, I believe. I only know that because I had the day off of work, and so I was sleeping in, and so Salisa had to come in and be like, bro, you're not going to fucking believe this. Like, look at what happened. Susan Sarandon had found our podcast and tweeted it out. So there you go.
Yeah, were you asleep or something when it first got found out?
100%. Yeah.
Because I feel like I texted you. I was like, bro, holy fucking shit. And you weren't responding because it was like late at night. And I was like, bro, I'm going to have to go over to your house and fucking pound the door down. That was easily the most surreal moment of my fucking entire life. You do get a little bit desensitized to things like that as it goes on, but that one, yeah, was mind blowing.
Dude, it's honestly, I still think about it as one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me.
Easily.
And whenever anybody asks me about the podcast, that's like one of the fun facts I share. It's like, oh, I do it with my homie. It's like, oh, we do react alongs to politics. Yeah, Susan Sarandon's a patron. That's kind of cool, right? And then it's like, oh, hey, this is your real job, and you're not just some douchebag that's rambling about his podcast. It's like, no, this is the only thing I have to share when you ask what employs you.
100%. 100%. And I have a feeling that Susan Sarandon probably supports a lot of left-wing, media. It's not like, we're the only show she watches, obviously. If she even fucking still watches us, I don't know. That'd be cool if she does. But it was a real big help back in the day when she, tweeted about us and encouraged us to set up the Patreon, which she became the first member of.
Yep. Anyway, really appreciate everyone tuning in. As Gavin said, 90% chance we'll be back tomorrow, but just look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. Oh, what the fuck?
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be there. The Vanguard